Hi, my name is Derek Rojas, and for my UPIC assignment, I'm just going to walk a trail here in the Chino Hills State Park, see what kind of animals I see or what kind of plants. And recently, this hill was actually on fire, and all this used to be brown and black, and there used to be no plants here, but quickly it's been recovering, and it's just a wonder how fast Mother Nature recovers. So I'm going to go ahead and walk this trail and see what I see. Just wanted to point out, this is a nice, beautiful trail. So right now I'm going up this hill, going up that way, which I believe should take me up towards that bridge. And then, but there's other trails here, like that one down below that goes all the way in between. And I don't know how far that one goes, but I'm sure there's gonna be lots of nice, beautiful flowers and things over there. But I'm gonna go ahead and take this trail. But there's many different paths and trails you could take on this. So I'm going up the rough, high, tall one. So wish me luck to my legs. Alright, so like I mentioned, there was a fire here not too long ago, and you can see definitely on that hill how it's very barren, not so much as growing on that side. But if we look over here, where the fire didn't really quite get to, it's a lot more greenery, a lot more of especially these yellow flowers kind of everywhere. And I don't know the time of year, but sometimes we have this event called the Super Bloom, where a bunch of flowers come up and bloom during this time. And at this point, these hills are covered in yellows and blues and purples and greens as well. So unfortunately, it's not that time of year, nor is that event happening anytime soon. But just already here, we can see these yellow flowers, and just a nice view, especially. I'm sure if I kept going upwards or down that way, there's more to see. But just taking a walk through nature is always very calming and very relaxing. It definitely helps remind us that it's good to slow down, and that even though the saying is time is money, doesn't mean that you should always overwork yourself. So little hikes like this is good for your health, both physically and mentally, really. Now the sun's actually starting to get kind of low, and I don't want to take too much time getting back before it gets dark, because these hills do have snakes and coyotes especially. And right now I'm kind of all alone here, so I definitely don't want to be out here when it starts getting dark. I want to, in case anything were to happen to me, and for some reason it takes a while for people to find me. So I'm gonna go ahead and head back. But nature is definitely very beautiful. It's very calming. It definitely reminds us it's good to take a moment to relax and smell the roses. So I'm heading back now because, like I said, it's getting a little bit late and don't want to be caught out here by myself. Unfortunately, I didn't really get to see any wildlife up here, although that would have been very cool. I mean, I did see a few crows around. I did see a hawk dive somewhere kind of up there around that hill area, general area. But I saw some squirrels as well, bunnies, but of course they always scurried away before I could really get it on video. But not much wildlife right now. But as I said earlier, it's getting dark, and we do have snakes, we do have coyotes, and I'm sure all those animals could become much more active at night. So even though it doesn't seem like there's much around, we're also not in as deep as we could go into their territory, and it's probably not the best time to see their activity. But as of right now, not much wildlife. But as we know, these hills are definitely full of life. Now we're at the beginning of the trail. The exit's just right over there. But this right here is just a little area to the sewers. It goes all the way deep down. And what my friends and I also discovered one time, just hanging around here, just kind of seeing, exploring, was at night, sometimes some bats actually came out of here, which makes sense that they would take shelter down here in the sewers during the daytime. So I'm going to see if maybe I can see something. Yeah, definitely not. But it goes down, as you can see. But like I said, my friends came here one time and we just looked down there and we found some bats. Sometimes we saw them flying in and out of this, and even go over and hang out in that tree over there. So even not just above the ground, but below it, these hills definitely have lots of life teeming. Now, fun fact about Chino Hills used to be underwater thousands and millions of years ago. And because of that, there are some special rocks, sedimentary rocks, that have formed because of all the years of soaking up the water. And back when I was a little kid, kind of scouring these hills, I used to find some of these crystals that I believe were gypsum. I, looked it up online and see what I found was most similar to it. And so there's these gypsum crystals all over the place here. And right now I'm just kind of scouring to see if I can find any more from back in my childhood, although I'm pretty sure I scraped this hill clean of them. But that's just a fun fact about Chino Hills, that this used to be all completely underwater. Actually, just my luck, here it is, the gypsum crystal. So as you can see, it definitely has some crystal-like features. It's honestly a really cool looking rock. But again, this forms over from being underwater. So this is, since Chino Hills is underwater, this hill is covered and littered with little pieces of rock like this. And again, I just found it like this lying here. I didn't dig or anything under it, so I can only imagine underneath this hill what we can really find. But back when I was little, I used to go digging and looking around for these things, thinking that, just because it was a crystal, then it must be worth thousands and hundreds of dollars. So just a nice little throwback to my childhood here that I found. I used to have a little rock collection, but this is it. This is the gypsum crystal, and one quality of it is it's actually really, really fragile. You can easily break it apart. All right, like I said, it's very fragile rock. So I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can break a little piece off just to show you. See? There we go, and just like that, very fragile. But definitely neat looking crystal rock. All right, and now I'm back home, and that concludes my nature walk. But again, I've always known this, but walking through nature is very calming, relaxing. Definitely gives us a mental break, and reminds us that it's good to slow down sometimes and enjoy the view. And even though the saying is time is money, doesn't mean we have to be working every second. So just taking the time to walk and slow down really helps with the mental health. And that's one thing that I think everyone can learn from these nature hikes.